Hey everybody, welcome to the flight deck and welcome to a new series. In this series we are going to fly from every Canadian provincial capital. So we are going to start east and we're going to work our way to the west on the provinces, and then we're going to swing north and head east through the territories. So this is a little bit of a different series. We're not flying any particular routes. Some of the flights will be fairly short, some of them will be a bit longer, and we are flying in my personal A320neo. A big shout out to the fellow who painted this for me, a guy named Christian over on the EasyJet Sim Pilot community. Did a fantastic job of it. It looks great. We'll see some more shots of it in the air as we go. But this is not a regular A320. Oh no, this is not your typical airliner. This is my personal jet. And I'll throw up a couple photos and show you what the inside of it looks like now. And it will take 25 passengers, and you're one of the lucky ones to join us. So jump on in, grab a luxurious seat, order a drink, and we will get ready to go. So let's jump in the cockpit and fire this thing up. Before we do, we are in snowy St. John's, Newfoundland. That's where we are starting our flight today. You can see snow on the ground. If we look around, there's a few other airplanes here at the gate, but yeah, it is cold, windy, and windy. But we're going to head south, and we're on our way down to Halifax, Nova Scotia. All right, let's jump in the cockpit. So, time to get this thing up and running. I am running the latest the latest dev version with the fly-by-wire control system of the mod that came out, given the time I'm running this, about 12 hours ago. So we'll see how it does. I know there's been some issues with the latest UK update, but we'll give it a shot. So, parking brake is set, chocks have been removed, ground power is connected, throttle levers are at idle, engine masters are off, engine igniters are normal, batteries are now coming on, adheres are now coming on, and we will turn up the panels. Hopefully it's going to be a nice day. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. Don't want to get up too early if you don't have to. Get all the screens up. And the bottom one click on each pedestal light, and the overhead. And if you're used to the older textures, you can really see how they've changed it to make it look a little bit more worn. So use cockpit in this one. I wish you could pick which cockpit you wanted with the mod, but obviously you cannot at the moment. So I'm just going to grab my SimBrief username, and then I will come over here and we're going to pop it in the iPad. Got my coffee all ready to go. Alright, so over to company. We'll throw that in there and import our flight. In there you can see us sitting here in St. John's. We'll zoom in a little bit. And we are flying today down here to Halifax. So should be a little bit of weather, but shouldn't be too bad. Weather here currently is skies clear, -9 degrees, and a bit of a wind out of 310. Down in Halifax, it's overcast at 10,000, but still skies clear, -8. So should be all right. So while this is all doing its thing, let's get the cabin crew to start getting you guys settled. Come on. Wanted a flight number. We're not really running a flight here, and then it wanted a there we go. Alright, over to the initialization page. We will request our flight plan. Here's our tail number. Flight sim our flight cost index of 25. Let's get the weather. Just make sure we are correct with what we're assuming. So the weather message has been sent. So our load today, we are not that heavy. Again, we've got only 25 passengers on, and your baggage isn't weighing that much. 23.02. So we're fairly light. Our block fuel.
The cabin crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard our flight. As you find your seat, be sure to place your large carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. If you have trouble finding a location,
there are no seats in front and no overhead bins. We got actual closets your baggage can go into.
If the overhead bin is full after you put your carry-on inside of it, please close the bin as a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away,
headwind of 121 knots, so that's going to be interesting. Well, we should still have 3.4 tons on arrival. Oh, everyone's on board.
In the safety card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required.
So we are done there.
To perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know so you can be reseated. You are free to use your portable electronic devices during the boarding process. We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the
flight plan.
Thank you and welcome aboard.
Sounds like the
we are ready to go when you are.
Cabin announcements takes longer than it takes everyone to get on board. So we're going to be departing on runway 34 today. No SID. We're just doing a direct to the waypoint. And we are going to arrive on the Cabot 4 arrival. And that will be for the well, let's check the weather first. It's back here, back here, back here. Yeah, 330 at 2 knots. I think we're gonna go for the ILS. For runway 23. That makes more sense with the wind and the fact that we do have an ILS for the airport. It makes it more of a straight in anyway. So we'll grab the weather. Take a quick look. So 130, 15 scattered, yeah, -9, and 3011 is what we have. So you're set. So we're going to do the ILS runway 23 on the Cabot 4 arrival. So that is now set. So that was 3011. That's set. Line in 2 minutes, so we'll get the APU up and running. 3011 is set, so we can come down here and enter this in. So, standard North American transition altitude of 18,000 feet. It's going to be a flaps 1, and our trim is up 1.2 today. It's going to be a toga takeoff. So 121, 122, 126. Again, we're very light. That is now populated into the flight plan. If I quickly show you the route. There we go. We are here in Newfoundland, St. John's. We're going to fly out over the southern part of Newfoundland, across this entry into where the St. Lawrence is, and then down across the northern island here of Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, and then down into the approach into Halifax. All right. So everything is looking good so far. Let's bring you up. And where is runway 34? No, it's not that far away from us. Excellent. So we are up there. Looks like the APU is up. Bags are all on board. That's set. Unrestricted climb since we're going direct, so we're going to 38,000 feet. I'll just check this. 38,000 feet. And we are all we are all set. So, time to go. So, crew oxygen is on, emergency lights are on, all the signs are on in the back. Beacon light is now on. The transponder will set to the generic transponder for North America. Emergency lights are armed. FMC is set up. Departure briefing is done. Doors are good. So they are locking the door and pulling the jetway. There we go. Doors are armed.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 01 with service to Halifax.
And door is locked. So APU is up.
And 44 minutes. Now that the cabin door
bleed is
closed,
active.
please make sure that all devices are in airplane
Fuel
mode and your
pumps are
large
coming
devices
off.
are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt
Are on.
and make sure that all tray tables and
Ground
seat
power
backs
is
are full, upright, and locked
disconnected.
position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for departure.
And we are ready to go.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes coming up.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back.
Let's get that ready. We're going to go tail to the right. They're going to be taxiing out that way towards the end of the runway. There we go. I'm not actually sure where the taxiway is. It's out there under the snow somewhere.
You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
They demonstrate the
Alright.
safety features of our
Starting
aircraft.
engine number 1.
You will notice a light illuminated above your seat. When this light is illuminated, please fasten your seatbelt low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight as you may experience unexpected turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit.
There is a taxiway, or the marker.
An oxygen mask will drop in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth, secure the elastic band behind your head, tighten the straps if necessary, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it is safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing,
Good start.
a life vest
Engine
is
number
located in
2.
the pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Put it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the strap to tighten. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpieces for manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and light. If necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by
Pushback
law.
complete. Set
All this
parking brakes, please.
information and more can be found in the safety card
Parking
located
brakes
in the
set.
seat back in
Roger.
front of you.
Okay, the tow bar is
Letting
disconnected
the
and the
cabin
equipment
members
is
know if
clear.
you have
We
any
will see you on the
questions. Thank you for
right-hand
flying
side
us
with the
again.
pin.
Hope you enjoy your
Thanks,
flight.
and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
Good start on engine number 2. So engine mode selector goes to normal. APU bleed off. APU is off. Probe and window heats. Come on, headings and altimeters set and cross-checked. Standby instruments checked and set. Radios and avionics are set. Autopilot is set. Flight director is coming on both sides. Auto brake set. Flaps 1. Horizontal trim up 1.2. And control surfaces. It's full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. We are good to taxi, so that comes up back to normal operations. Taxi light will come on. And we are cleared to taxi, and there's our taxi route out. Basically, we're going to go straight out, and then we're going to cross runway 02. And then go down to 34. Again, it's a pretty short little taxi here. That's runway 02 right there. This is Delta. This will take us down to the end. Let's line up.
Camera crew sees for takeoff, please.
Alright, there's our hold line. So it's looking clear. I don't see anybody out there. So flying instruments checked, engine instruments are checked, takeoff data is set. The nav equipment is set. Landing lights, come on. Strobe lights go on. Taxi to takeoff. Pitot heats are on. De-ice not required. Transponder on out. Weather radar on. PWS is on. I think we're good to go. Alright, so we will start the clock. And we will move out. Take position on the runway. There we go. So everything is set and ready. Engines to 40%. Oop. Stable. Slight nose down. Brakes released and toga power. Knots. V1. Rotate. And up we go. Positive rate. Gear coming up. Acceleration, altitude, thrust lever climb. Nose down to 10% for acceleration. Flaps coming up. Begin our left turn for our first waypoint. Here's snowy Newfoundland. So we'll level off. Turn on our heading here. Nice and gentle climb rate for everybody in the back.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet. You may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you'll be directed to a page to pay a small fee for internet access. We do offer complimentary in-flight communications to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to access our wide range of free live TV and KTV library.
There's the speed coming up. Very good. So as we climb up to our cruise level, I'll let you sit back and enjoy the flight. Should be a nice one. Weather's looking very good. You should get some good views. We'll see you on the descent into Halifax.
We have begun our final descent into Halifax. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
Alright, so that's us down through 10,000 feet. It's been a good flight. A little cloudy, a little murky. But we're in, we've come over Cape Breton Island and we're coming into Halifax. It's kind of a straight shot into the ILS here, so we should be good. Just watching that speed. Making sure we don't get too far above 250. As we descend down to 3,000 feet, which is our intercept altitude for the ILS. And we should come in at a nice angle for the intercept as well. Now when we land, we're going to be departing to the right. So I'm going to try to get down a little bit early, and then I'll be able to start our slow down. So if I can get down to 3,000, well, we will get down to 3,000 before Lee Rose. So I'm going to go to approach mode now. All my data is entered in. It's fairly cold. It's like -6 degrees, but the winds are almost nothing. Slightly out of the north. So we're going to have a slight tailwind when this kicks around closer to the ground, but we should be fine. Alright, so we're at 3,000 feet to go. We've still got like 20 something miles, so I'm going to decrease that slightly. Now, let's bring you down to 3/4. Start easing back on the speed brakes so we're not running the engines all the time. Patches of snow everywhere. I've got a feeling this is more snow covered than this. So you can see by the VOR we're 30 miles from the airport, although that's not exactly at the airport, it's a few miles to the east of it. 24 miles from Leroy, so that can come up to 1,000. We will come off. There we go. Tune those engines down. So I hope you've enjoyed your inaugural flight in the new airplane. Would ask that you make sure your champagne glasses are put away. Make sure the ILS is still tuned in. Nine 1099, yeah. Should kick on soon. And the airport is just over 30 miles away, so we're still a little bit far out. We just gotta watch the terrain. Should be okay. There are some hills more behind us and to our rear right. There we go. Just came on. Should be IJG actually, so when we get closer it should come up proper. There's the airport, or a airport off in the distance. There are a couple of them around, so there's the military base at, is it Summerside, I believe? Not sure if that's Halifax ahead of us or not. So there's 3,000 feet. That's good. We're at 250 knots. 20 miles out. Going into managed mode. Let's bring us down to 210. And there we go, IJG. IJG confirmed by the chart. 17 miles from the Halifax VOR, which, like I said, is offset a little bit. If we go over here to the VOR, you can see it's pointing out that direction, and the VOR is about 3 or 4 miles off to the east. And VOR 2 is pointing to the IHZ VOR, which is actually located just to where we're looking, just to the right side of the field. So you'll see them both swing around as we come in, because I'm going to go to LS mode for the landing. And the weather's decent, so we're pretty good there. ILS glide slope are both showing. We're at 8 miles from Leroy, 8.5. You see, for some reason it's still got the old route on the ND. Thought they'd fix that, but with every update we get, something else breaks, so who knows. Alright, seatbelt signs are on, radios are set, speed established, 210, landing lights are on, taxi light is on taxi, ground spoilers are now armed. Auto brake. Do we want auto brakes? We don't want auto brakes. We got a little bit of a ways to go to get to the turn off after we land. 5 miles out. We'll keep the speed up until we're established and then start bringing her back. Okay, 4 miles from Leros. When we hit 2.5, we'll turn on approach mode. Yeah, it's Halifax there. Halifax City's on the water, and you got the big harbor. It's the largest natural harbor, I think, on the east coast of North America, which is why the British chose it in the 1700s. Massive harbor, huge. Halifax Basin is huge, and it's the home of the Royal Canadian Navy's Atlantic Fleet. Alright, so there we go, 2.5 miles. Approach mode is now active. Eight miles from the VOR. Green flaps 1. Turning onto the intercept. You can see the diverging VORs there. One's pointing almost at the airfield, the other one's pointing off to the left of it. Alright, glide slope indicating, flaps 2. Had the engine ice on as we came down through clouds, so that will now go off to make sure we got enough power. Go around altitude to set. 5 miles, gear down.
Camera crew, please take your seat.
Gear down 3 green, flaps 3. Wind is decreasing and starting to come around to the west. Glide slope intercepted. Localizer searching. Glide slope captured. Localizer star. Localizer box.
2,500.
Slight right crab for the wind. Localizer captured. Flaps 3, aircraft fully configured. Ground spoilers are armed. So landing gear is down 3 green. Autopilot as required. Go around altitude is set. Auto thrust managed. Landing memo no blue. Landing speed is managed. Alright, we're nicely aligned. We will exit to the right on taxiway Charlie. You can see it down there. It's a big. You get the big green space, and you can see the taxiway about 3/4 of the way down. 1,500 feet. Very, very heavily wooded area out here. We've passed the Halifax VOR. It's now going behind us.
1,000.
Or the, yeah, Halifax VOR is behind us. The IHZ VOR is slightly to the left. Landing inhibit. .500 feet coming up. Terrain radar will switch off.
500.
Over the trees.
400.
Decision height's 200 feet. Obviously, it's not an issue.
100 above. Minimum.
Continue. Perfectly aligned. Autopilot off.
100.
See the other VOR swinging around now.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Down. Auto thrust. Reverse green. .80 knots. .60 knots. Reversers are off. Exit coming up on the right. That's Charlie. Slowing down. 40 knots. We are off the runway.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Halifax. The local time is 1:05 p.m. and it's currently about -degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices.
Yeah, I wish
Please
they'd
remain
fix
seated
that.
until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
All right,
and
let's
the
clean up the
seatbelt sign is
airplane.
turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins.
Spoilers.
Items may have shifted during the
Disarmed.
flight. As
Flaps
this is your
are up.
final destination, we thank you
Engine
for
mode
flying with us, and we
selector
hope to see you
normal.
again soon.
Landing lights, strobe lights are off. Anti-ice is off. We weren't using it. APU, just in case, we'll bring it up. Brake temperature check. Come down here to the wheels page. Brake temperatures are fine. Transponder off. Weather radar off. PWS is off. Elevator trim is fine. And we can taxi to the gate. So we're gonna go to gate around 6 or 7, depending on what's free. See when we get there. Turn the FD and the landing systems off. Approach mode can come off as well. Go. So we're going to taxi all the way down here on Alpha, and then the terminal will be at the end on our left. Some nice aircraft sitting there. So TBMs and just a couple Cessnas, and that's a general aviation ramp, obviously. Gloomy day in Halifax, but it's a typical winter day. Alright. gonna go for a jetway gate. You know, ideally we'd be parking at an FBO in this thing, but hey, we're big enough to demand a gate. And I think we deserve one. Couldn't find a freeware scenery for here, so this is the default. Alright, slow her down. We'll go around the corner where the CJ4 is. And we should find the gates. There they are, WestJet. Yeah, this usually has a little bit of a gate thing. I think that's a walkout for like Q400s or Beach 18Ds or something like that. Alright, let's go in beside the WestJet here. Looks like a little CRJ or something parked there. Alright, turn off taxi. Get ourselves lined up here. Now the way to do this is look for, you get up where you think your wheel's going to be, and then you look to see if you got ground power available. If you do, you're kind of in the right ballpark. So we're going to park here. Go to the parking brakes. Parking brakes are set. Thrust levers are at idle. Ground contact has been made. Hello, ground. Please give me a jetway. Thank you very much. Ground operations as required. I think when GSX comes out for this, you'll be able to do a bag unload instead of bag load, which would be pretty cool. Electrical power is established. Engines 1 and 2 coming off. Logbook should open. There it is. We'll close the logbook. Alright, lights will go to nav lights only. Signs will come off. Exterior lights is required. Anti-ice off. APU off. Doors. Flight directors off. Bleeds off. Fuel pumps coming off. Beacons off. ECAM status is normal. Panel lights will leave on. ADIRs are fine. Avionics are fine. No smoking is fine. APU batteries are where they should be. Well, there we go, guys. The inaugural flight here to Halifax is done. What do we got here? WestJet and Air Transat. Very appropriate for the airport here. Thank you very much for flying with us. Hope to see you again on the next one when we head from Halifax. I believe we are going to Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, but I'm not sure. But we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.